Won't it be Ryan the Great? And today, I can finally smile. I can finally smile in a video. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. The Eagles found a way to do it. I honestly can't believe it. The Eagles found a way to do it. It's unbelievable. I can't believe it. We found the way to win the game. I didn't think the Eagles were going to win. You guys knew. You guys saw the video. I had no notes. It was all from the heart. And I really just tried to just have some faith. But I just really didn't think the Eagles were going to win. I was 100% wrong about the game. And I'm very happy I was wrong. I'm very happy I was wrong. From the beginning, you guys know the bracket. I did the bracket in the beginning of the playoffs. My Super Bowl was the Eagles and the Chiefs, and I had the Chiefs winning. So I couldn't really go back on my pick, but what an incredible game. I mean, from top to bottom, it was great. I was on Broad Street. You guys probably know that. I was having some fun, but not too much fun because we all know what we've seen in the past. But yeah, this is looking incredible. And just a little bit of an update for you guys. We're not going to be laying back on the content. Obviously, we're not going to have Eagles weekly recaps anymore. We'll be going into basketball season, even though that's not really looking good for our Philadelphia 76ers. We're moving into basketball season. We'll be talking about all the big things that are happening. So yeah, but content for now, it's not going to go down. Maybe it kind of is, to be honest with you. PCL, Philadelphia Catholic League basketball season is starting. St. Joe's Prep, my high school, they are the number one seed. And we have lots of hopes to go to the Palestra. I'm sure you guys know about the Palestra, one of the most historic stadiums, arenas in history of America. It's where University of Penn plays their basketball games, in the PCL. Philadelphia Catholic League hosts their championships or semifinals and championship games. So we're hopeful to get there. I'm hopeful to get in there as a media member. So we'll have to see. But anyway, we're going to get right into it. But before we get right into this video, guys, make sure you guys subscribe with your post notifications on. Go subscribe to my brother Lindy Blogs. Make sure you guys go subscribe to my second channel at Ryan the Combat Great. Make sure you guys go follow me on X at Ryan the Great RTG. Make sure you guys go follow me on TikTok at Ryan the Great RTG. Make sure you guys go listen to the latest edition of the CR7 podcast. And make sure you guys go follow me on Twitch at Ryan the Great Podcast. And after you, ladies and gentlemen, the video, let's roll that intro. Hey, come on, Stotty. Stop! 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 Red flag! First pitch! Bring him in! Yes! Oh, damn. All right, let's get into the happiest video I think we might ever release on this channel. But I still can't believe we won. I still can't believe it. Anyway, last time of the season, we're going to say it. Let's talk about the Eagles, their offense, and their Super Bowl MVP quarterback, Jalen Hurts. What an incredible game. Everything I've wanted him to do, criticized him for the entire season, he was able to do it in this game. Fine. I mean, it was incredible. He threw the ball on time. He was able to accurately get the guys the ball. When he escaped the pocket, he was able to make throws on the run. I was just yelling, get rid of it, when he was escaping the pocket, because he normally isn't able to find guys on the run. We haven't seen him do that much this season. But he was able to do it. He was able to convert, plays that looked to be dead. He was able to make them getting yards. I mean, he had one play to Smith on the sideline. I know he had the 20-yard play to Barkley on the catch. So you got to give him credit where credit is due for making plays like that. I mean, he was able to run the football up the middle. Obviously, he had a few quarterback draws. He was able to improvise run when it was a designed pass play. He was able to ice the clock, ice the game in the end. So he was able to use his legs. He put Patrick Mahomes' running to shame in this one. Definitely deserving of Super Bowl MVP with that performance. He did everything absolutely incredible. And then moving on to our running back, Saquon Barkley. I'm sad he couldn't do much in this game because the Chiefs were really not going to let him do anything. They were going to make everyone else beat them, that being Jalen Hurts, I guess you should say. And, it happened. Jalen Hurts definitely beat them. Kellen Moore, he tried to use Barkley up the middle. He tried to get him to the outside, which is where Barkley does, I guess you could say, has worked best this season. But, the Chiefs, they were just not going to let Barkley beat them. They were sending 8 guys, even when the snap took off, when they knew it was a run play. The Eagles had H-backs in the backfield when it came to A.J. Brown, or I don't know who that fullback was. I couldn't see the name, but when they saw that H-back, they sent about 8 guys, 7 guys at Barkley, so you can't really get mad at it. And then for our wide receivers, A.J. Brown, I don't know what he was doing. He was getting all pissy on the sideline after one third down stop. He couldn't get the ball. Bad throw by Hurts, something around there. But other than that, he was great. A.J. Brown's my favorite player right in the NFL. Just the way his game is. I definitely think he's a top 5 wide receiver at the current moment in time. He just had some bad injuries this season. But Jalen got him the football. The pass interference call was stupid, in my opinion. McDuffie was falling down, and just because there was contact by both guys, McDuffie pretty kind of fell. With the contact, AJ had he got his hand in his face. That was a bad call. I don't think it was pass interference at all, but it's a good rhyme. But it is what it is. We got the makeup call though. There was an unnecessary roughness call that probably shouldn't have been called on. Well, definitely shouldn't have been called on Goddard. It was definitely not an unnecessary roughness call, but we got a makeup call there, so it was called both ways in that sort of sense. So I can't really get too mad at it. But anyway, other than that, he was fine. He had a good back shoulder catch at one point of the game in the first half. Then he obviously had the touchdown at the end of the first half. So wide open on the crosser, he went unguarded. So you got to give him credit where credit is due. I was very happy with the way A.J. Brown played in this contest. It was a great game. And then for Devontae Smith, I liked how he was the one who tried to keep the play alive. When his original route wasn't working, saw Jalen get out of the pocket, went right to the sideline. Jalen was able to deliver him the football, make the catch, get out of bounds. The Smith did a good job in that sort of way. Obviously had the deep touchdown that pretty much sealed the game for us. I love what he did there. It was one-on-one. I was screaming at the TV. Go to Smith, go to Smith, go to Smith. He's on an island one-on-one. I didn't see a single high safety or any really high safeties in that on that play. So it was great that we were able to get him the ball on that one. Jalen with a great read and a great throw. My grandfather was like, "Oh, Ryan, you called it." Shout out to him though. He's the biggest Eagles fan I know. It got me into football. I will never be a bigger Eagles fan than him. But shout out to Pop. What do you call it? Then he had one catch, I believe it was. Smith got us a first down on early drives, kept the momentum going. So, Smith, a great game. And then for the field, Dotson, I didn't know he had it in him. A double move route that, got us to the 1 yard line. Would have been great to see a touchdown, though, by Dotson. I would have loved to see him get in. But I haven't seen a double move like that since the Penn State days. I'm just happy we can get... I'm just happy we could, get him a nice Super Bowl moment. And I was hoping to see a Johnny Wilson catch, but he dropped the football, so, just got to hold on to it. Then for our tight end, Dallas Goedert, there really wasn't much of an opportunity to get him the football. Jalen, though, delivered a really nice pass with Chris Jones in his face. Very accurate ball to Goddard. That was really the only thing that really happened for him in this game. With the short field and the amount of runs that we did, I think we had like 45 rushing attempts throughout the entire game. The short field, there really wasn't much of an opportunity to get Goddard the ball, but I'm just happy we can get him a ring because he's somebody that definitely deserves it. He's dealt with injuries the entire season. Somebody like Zach Ertz, who had a really good year with the Commanders. There was questions about, maybe we should have kept Zach Ertz on the team instead of Goddard. So, I'm just happy we can get him a Super Bowl ring, and he was a pretty big contributor when he was on the field. Offensive line, this is a special group. I think the 2 years ago with the Super Bowl, I think that offensive line group was better. But this group was absolutely incredible. I would love to keep Becton next season. Obviously, he has the knee problem and all that, but he fought through it, got back in. I always say when it comes to the playoffs, you got 6 months to recover, however many months you got to recover. So you have so long to recover when it comes to Becton. So, you get back in there, you play. But everybody won their one-on-ones. So you got to give them. Oh my God, I thought there was a repost on X when Barkley signed a contract extension with the Eagles, or signed a contract with the Eagles. I thought he just signed a contract extension. I was like, what? I was like, can he even do that? But that all right. That was I just got trolled. Not trolled, but like surprised. But anyway, yeah. So this offensive line was a great group. They won their one-on-ones, even when Spags was sending 5 guys. They gave Hurts just enough time. They dealt with Chris Jones pretty well. He was getting through on some occasions, but Jalen, you got to give him credit. He was able to get out of the pocket. This is a special group of offensive linemen, and what was their average weight, like 360 pounds and 6'6". I mean, that is just a big group of guys that are just absolutely incredible. Obviously, they couldn't do much on the run game. The Chiefs were just sending 7, 8 guys on some occasions, so not really much you can do there. And then our defense and our defensive line. I mean, I can't talk about how good the defensive line was in this game. The constant pressure on Mahomes rocked him the entire game, and the fact that the Eagles weren't letting him escape. When Nolan Smith was able to bring Mahomes down on the 1 3rd down, Jalen Carter was able to chase down Mahomes. They were not letting him get away, and that's where I feel like the Eagles really won this game. When they were able to shut down Mahomes when it came to him getting out of the pocket. I talked about in the preview video that he will eventually get out of the pocket. He will eventually, figure it out. Or he will eventually, be able to run. But the Eagles were not letting him do that. The defensive pressure was constant in his face. It was constant when they were chasing him. Really, at the end of the game, when the game was over, Mahomes was really able to run and make plays with his legs. But when the game was actually, I guess you could say, competitive, or when it was a closer score, the Eagles were not letting him get away with the football. And you got to give him credit. We got to give them all credit where credit is due. Josh Sweat, was one-on-one throughout the entire game with Jawan Taylor. Jalen Carter was doubled. Not really much of a great game for Carter, but he was doubled and he was getting held the whole game. So, it is what it is. But Sweat was winning his one-on-ones. He was quick off the line, fast hands, and someone that was on a 1-year contract, somebody that we were thinking about getting rid of before the season in free agency last year. We were able to bring him back on a 1-year deal, changed his number, and did a great job. In this game, definitely going to be some contract extension talks with the Philadelphia Eagles. So you got to figure that out. And then once again, Nolan Smith, 2 quarterback hits. Obviously had the one play on 3rd down with Mahomes where I think he was trying to get to Hollywood Brown, but Smith got behind him and Mahomes just couldn't make the throw. And once again, that constant pressure absolutely rocked him. Shout out Milton Williams as well. I talked about over the course of the season how he was just absolutely incredible, and he was able to make plays. And he had a strip sack, pretty similar to the BG strip sack in the Super Bowl 7 years ago. So, yeah, I love what Milton Williams did. I hope we can keep him because he was great in the pass rush. Somebody like Jordan Davis, who did have a good game, not really doesn't really do much when it comes to the pass rushing game. So. You have to. I would really like to bring him back. But Oshima was great too, and maybe he can be. Maybe if Milton Williams leaves, we can maybe move him into that sort of role. But also Jordan Davis had a sack as well, and I was pretty surprised there. He had a good playoffs, good set of playoff games. So, or good 4 playoff games. Sorry. So great playoffs for Jordan Davis. As much as I like to criticize guys, like they're not like to. As much as I do criticize guys like Jalen Hurts and. Jordan Davis, and I didn't want the Eagles to draft Quinyon Mitchell. I always want these guys to win. Like, if you play for the Eagles, I want you to win. You want the Eagles, you coach for the Eagles. I'm a fan. Like, it's not like I don't like any of the Eagles guys. It's just there's criticisms that I have to give out, and as most of them are fair. But I love anyway. If you play for the Eagles, I love you. Like, you're part of the team. You're part of the Eagles family, I guess you should say. So. I love these guys, and, there's just criticisms I got to give out sometimes. But anyway, moving on to our linebackers, we really didn't need to blitz them. Like, we didn't need extra men on the rush. Like, as I mentioned earlier, they were great. Only 4 guys were blitzing. The D-line was doing great. The defensive line was also chasing him down, that being Mahomes the entire game. So we just really needed them to drop in coverage. Bond, obviously, with the interception. So, that just proved that we needed them in coverage. Shout out Vic Fangio. We'll talk about him in a bit. He was great in that way. The Chiefs barely ran the ball, but when we did, it was they didn't really get much. They were getting it on a couple occasions. They were getting 8 yards a crack, but to be honest, they weren't running, and the Eagles weren't expecting it. So, there really was no reason to to really focus on the run game for the majority part. So, give credit where credit is due. Zach Bond, he is going to be up for a big contract extension. If he goes somewhere else because of the money, good on him, but I really hope the Eagles can bring him back because he was absolutely incredible as an off-ball linebacker. Hopefully he's just not a one-year wonder saying we bring him back. I don't think he will be, though. He was absolutely great. And then Burks was also great. Give him credit. Great to see Nakobe Dean get a ring. Love to see my man Trotter get a Super Bowl ring in his first year. Obviously, he's a St. Joe's prepper, so you love to see that. And then moving on to our corners and safeties. We'll start with the safeties. As I mentioned, the Chiefs really don't go deep that much, so we have to focus on the short part of the field. CJ GJ, and Bree Blankenship, we didn't really need them too much. There were some times where Mahomes was thinking about going deep, but the coverage was good enough to where he wasn't going to go deep. So, they were able to lock down guys in that part. But, they had to walk up, and the coverage was great. I mean, Slay and Mitchell dominated on the outside. I really wasn't too worried about that. I was kind of worried about the slot, though, with Kelsey and Worthy, but Dejeen absolutely shut them down in the slot. It was absolutely incredible. Obviously, incredible pick six, but it was a bad read by Mahomes. Same thing on the Bond throw. They were just really bad reads by Mahomes. He's also trying to get fancy throwing the football in that pick six. So, it is what it is. But, we locked down everybody, and it was great. Coaching-wise, also, before we get into the coaching, I loved how Gardner Johnson, when he hit Kelsey after the play, he put his hands behind his back like this just so he wouldn't get a penalty. That was that was pretty funny. I enjoyed that one. I got a kick out of me. But anyway, moving on to our coaching, Kellen Moore. I mean, he put the ball in Jalen Hurts' hands in the second half, and really because he had to. The Chiefs were sending pressure on the run the entire game, and he had to run. He had to keep the ball in Hurts' hands, and we know what happened the last time that a team was up by 20-something points in the Super Bowl, and they were throwing the football 28-3. We all know what happened when the Falcons blew it. So, that it's something that we've seen happen. But Jalen Hurts, he was good with the football, making accurate throws, making the right throws. Wasn't throwing it into danger. Obviously had the one interception, but it was a missed block by Juergens. But nonetheless, so you gotta give credit. You gotta give credit to Hurts and credit to Kellen Moore. Put the ball in Jalen Hurts' hands and just wasn't running the clock out with Saquon Barkley and just having 3 and outs and giving the Chiefs extra opportunities to get on the field. So you got to give credit where credit is due to Kellen Moore there. And then Vic Fangio, I mean, that is the assistant coach of the year. I really don't care what anybody says. The fact that he was able to take this Eagles defense from bottom of the league to top in the league is just absolutely incredible. If the Super Bowl MVP could also be awarded to a coach, I think we would have to give it to Vic Fangio. I mean, he had faith in the defensive line, sent for the entire game, and it worked. You got to give him credit there. And then even when the Chiefs were in motion, they were moving their guys from the slot to the opposite side of the field in the X receiver spot. Nobody moved. Everybody just stayed on their island. Nobody moved in motion with guys. That's a mistake that Jonathan Gannon made in the Super Bowl against the Chiefs 2 years ago, where he would move. He had the Eagles move in motion with the guys, and Sky Moore, Kadarius Toney, they were able to run a zig and get a touchdown because the Eagles were running into each other. They just were not communicating well in motion. And Vic Fangio did a great job of realizing that we have a similar secondary, and the Chiefs obviously have a similar offense. So they're going to move guys in motion. Everybody just stayed on an island, and you got to give credit to Fangio. I thought it was an absolutely incredibly called game by Vic Fangio. And then our bottom line, I mean, I'm the happiest person in the world that the Eagles won this game. I was 100% wrong about that, and I own up to that. I mean, I'm happy that I'm wrong, so, I'm going to own up to it, obviously. But now I feel like we have to look at Jalen Hurts as a guy that's not going to blow the roof off with 300 yards passing and 5 touchdowns. We have to look at him as somebody who is just going to win you a football game. He's a pure winner. He wins games, and that's all you can really say about it. He has one of the highest winning percentages in the Eagles' history as a starting quarterback over the past couple of seasons. And if you want to call him a game manager, you can do that. The only thing is that he's winning championships. I still don't think the game manager, saying is supposed to be an insult because it's not an insult. If you win football games, how is being called a game manager, an insult? And you're winning championships as well. So, I don't know. It is what it is. And then we need to find a way to keep Kellen Moore in Philadelphia. We just need to protest outside the Saints facility or something. I don't really know. But, we need to find a way to keep Kellen Moore in Philadelphia. I don't think Vic Fangio's going anywhere. He's a bit of an older coach, so, I don't think that teams are really going to hire him. That's a good thing, honestly, because he was absolutely incredible. Anything else that I have to say? I think that's really it, to be honest with you. I'm really happy with Jalen Hurts. He's had a lot of criticism, but, want to call him a game manager, fine. But at the end of the day, he has more Super Bowls than Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, or Lamar Jackson. So, that's just how it is at the end of the day. That'll do it for this video, guys. Make sure you guys subscribe, get the post notifications on. Go subscribe to my brother, Linda Great Blogs. Make sure to go subscribe to my second channel at Around the Combat. Great. Man, I feel like this is just feels sad. This is the last time we're doing an Eagles reaction video for the season, and we're going to have to wait till September. This is insane. We'll have a free agency video, what I think the Eagles should do in free agency. Also, free agent content will be coming out when free agency begins. But, where was I? Subscribe to my second channel at Around the Combat. Great. Make sure you guys can follow me on X Around the Great RTG. Make sure you guys can follow me on TikTok at Around the Great RTG. Make sure you guys go listen to the latest edition of the CR7 podcast. And make sure you guys go follow me on Twitter, Around the Great Podcast. And as always, Ryan the Great out. Peace.